88.764 on the old weekly chart on Coinbase. Should have come as no surprise to anybody, right? I'm sure everyone saw 88K coming in a potential bounce. I'm sure everyone was calling it. They're just not as racist as me when it comes to Asia. Probably these Asians and their superstitions, you know. That's what I always say. I'm probabilitarian and a pattern recognitionist. Based on my history with the Asians I know, they are very superstitious about 88. It's a nice little bounce where we don't want this one, 84.4. But I mean, if it continued bearish action, that's next. Right. But this is, you know, it's a 4-hour chart. It's a nice little rounding bottom of sorts. Throw the wick down to 88, kind of relief rally back up. It's not so much. We've stalled out at 92. So it's, you know, there's nothing to write home about. I would keep the guns loaded, right? Now, where could we be bullish today to maybe solidify and validate a recovery? Well, for sure up into this channel of descensions. You see all this is all weekend minutia, miscellaneous. Yeah, what are we doing? Nothing, huh? We're doing nothing? No, we're not doing nothing. It's weekend. You know, just bingo bango buying it. So just get up over that, like erase that from the history and get up in here. I would say, you know, 98.8 would be somewhat bullish for the charts. You know, not for the sentiment, just for the charts, like for the bots that are kind of running this program that we're all watching, this simulation that we're watching. It's the bots that will consider this 50 moving average at 98.8 rather bullish. It's still the 4-hour chart, and maybe I would go a little farther and say that this is this the 23.6% fib? Yeah, 101.3. Now I guess what we're gonna have to do is adjust our low price here to 23.6% fib. So our now bear market rejection scenario is 103.4. So when and if we get up and over 100, you got to keep your peepers on 103.4. Let's adjust that over on the ding dong. There we go. Yeah, 103.2. And you can see that's where we almost broke out of this last bear flag that we were talking about. But let's take a look at this ding dong. So we said bullish would be 23.98.1. Let's see where 98.1 puts us. So 23.6% fib as well here. It'll be the 23.6 everywhere. But this is a little bit of a no man's land on the daily. So I would somewhat invalidate that because it's not a lot of traffic. It's just basically a big long wick, a long candlestick down. So was it 98? Yeah. It seems like forever ago we're at 98K. Now we would just celebrate 98K to the max if it ever hits again. But we all know now from watching this channel that it's not enough. We got to get over 103, right? So if we keep going down here, we will probably go back to those old peepers that on the old down ones, like the 23, when we fell 20%, we thought this isn't big enough. Well, that might have been big enough in this new world of, you know, market math numbers. But for this, we at least get back to this channel of descension here at 93.4. Can we, oh, we don't have where's the price action here? So everyone can, there we go. It makes a big difference, right? And a big sigh of relief when you see that the price there. Is it moving? Is it? Now, yeah, you can see that this is just a big cascading sell-off here. So there's not much of those things in the rock to grab on, right? Like the confluence of 98.3 and the 23.6% fib doesn't leave a lot to the imagination because it was just a cascading candle. You know, I would say we'd probably get more pushback at 95.5. And then, of course, we're not delusionally bullishly speaking. A V-shaped recovery. Like let's just say how outrageous a V-shaped recovery would be today, right? So now, in order to fully execute a V-shaped recovery, this is the candle, right? We'd have to basically come up to 104, which is right around that. See, this is what I don't like. So if we were to have like a delusionally bullish relief rally from 88K, which we've been kind of talking about for the past month or so, you can see how just to make it look like a V-shaped recovery, we would have to get up and over that 103.2 thing. So it's coming to a head there. Now, if we were to, will we see, what kind of candle is that? Let's just see what kind of candle this is. We'll go from candlestick. It's a 15% candle, right? So it's also one of those, it's not a God candle, but it's like over $10,000 candle, right? What is that, $13,000, $14,000 candle? Now, it's not impossible, but the way the markets have been beaten down, it seems improbable, right? The only time we get, remember everyone's like, God candle, we're going to see a God candle. And then we get one, but it's to the downside. And then, of course, all the grifting YouTubers are like, well, it could have gone up or down, right? I said God candle, it was a God candle, right? But it just happened to go down instead of up. What? So you can see how highly improbable that is, because we would also have to get over the 20 moving average. Now, there is, this is where things are going to get pretty actually interesting. To the upside, we mean revert to the 20 moving average. To the downside, we mean revert. So if we were to have, a hella bullish day, we would mean revert back to the 20 moving average, which is right at the paper level of the bear market rejection, 103, and a V-shaped recovery. So everything would look great. But we all know now, when you're having conversations with your friends, you can tell them, well, we have to get over 103.2 because it's a historic bear market rejection level. And we would be right up there. And you can see how this market would work, right? Everyone would be back on. We're back, baby, right? We'd see all those memes. We're back. But we all know that it's more dire there than it is here, really. Because there's more hope here because we haven't been rejected there yet. So it's just like I have more hope in the bear market anyway. Now, the interesting thing about 88 is that I had that dream about 40K bear market, right? So really, we're only a 50% drop to where I think the bear market worst case scenario would go. Now, I don't want to put that into the ethos. Worst case scenario 40 because it just guarantees it going lower. But it's hard to fathom that it's a 50% drop from here because we're basically on a 25%. Are we? No, we're not past 30, are we? Let's go to the monthly just to check it out. 30%. It's basically 30% on the dot, right? Just like 88K was 30% from the top. There we go. Bump in. These puzzle pieces fit. 30%. So imagine the pain of the past month. If we were to just double the pain, not even, we would be at 40K. And it would be essentially a reset of the entire market. Now, 30% happened in a month. That's what's the crazy part about these numbers now, right? Like when we were in 2021, that bear market seemed to go down forever. If you can remember, it was like every 10,000, it was the end of days. Oh my God, it's 50,000. Oh, we should sell. And then 40,000. Oh, it's too late to sell. Well, it can't go to 30, can it? Oh, it did. Oh my God. Well, at least it can never go to 20. Oh my God, it just hit 20. Then we got into the teens and it just seemed to draw on forever. And it's just because the law of smaller numbers, right? But now that we're in the law of, look at this monthly candle. This is gross. This is Satan's candle right down there. Right there. See, we're 93.8. You can see why that number makes so much sense, right? That was the 23.6% fib on the 4-hour chart. And that's roughly where, we need to be on the daily, however, there's no thing to grapple on. But you can see here on the monthly chart, there's a lot of candle closes right at this 93.5% fib. But anyway, back to like getting to 40K. Who knows? We could blast off right now. Based on normal numbers of a bull run, a 30% downturn is nothing. Now, what are we let's see what's going on in the old under the hood here. What's fear and greed? 15. Hitting 88K, we only go down 2. It seems a little weird. Are we going to go back under 3 trillion? Well, we probably will. I mean, if we cascade into the bear market, we'll for sure go under 3 trillion, which would be disappointing that, most people were calling for 4 days in a row of outflows. Let's do some quick math. 300, 9, 12, 1.2 billion, 1.7, almost 2 billion outflows. Now, what we tend to forget is that this is retail. These are ETF outflows. People going, oh my God, get me out of this. What did you talk me into? You know how these people are doing it. Over on the weekly, I remember a couple of weeks ago, someone was saying, don't put in that wick. And here we did 88K. Well, at least we can knock it off our chart, right? 88K, it was almost destiny, right? At least almost 2 months. We were talking about 88K. And there we go. Maybe, just maybe, let's draw in some, well, we already have a nice little bullish. Here's that confluential place though. We have a bullish doodle in here that depicted this downturn from the top all the way here. I don't think we have to the end of like the Christmas rally to hit this. Like, could we see, now I'm basing everything off of a random doodle. Could this doodle come true? Could it be a Christmas rally due to this doodle up to this confluential bear market rejection zone, 38.2? Because if we were to get back up here, that would be in candle close, a weekly, that would invalidate the current bottom and maybe continue on into 2026. Now, anyway, we're having a nice little pump here. You know, this says 92, just cracking 92 on my chart, not on this ticker. Maybe this ticker will go up. Maybe I am in traveling time here as I speak because I am in a 10-second delay. This chart is ahead of this ticker. I see a cup and handle pattern. I see your head and shoulders in the sky. I'm looking at the moving average, convergence, divergence, the MACD. Whatever that means, let's do some doodles, aka astrology for men. Let's do some doodles, aka astrology for men. I'm looking at a triple top. Looks like the RSI is overbought. It's carving out a spinning top candle. Sometimes they call them a doji. Whatever that means, let's do some doodles, aka astrology for men. Let's do some doodles, aka market sentiment and liquidity, and I go pump and down. Should I buy? Should I sell? Am I bull or am I a bear? Let's do some doodles, aka astrology for men. Let's do some doodles, aka astrology for men. Astrology for men.